Hi guys, I'm Saumya and I'm back again with another video. I hope you're all well and safe. So I make a lot of bookish content on this channel. If you are a book lover and a reader or would like to become one, then do hit that subscribe button and don't forget to click on the bell icon. So in my previous vlog, I had talked about how I was going to show you my book haul of the books that I got from the bookstore that I visited in that vlog. And in today's video, I'm going to show you the 14 books that I bought from that bookstore. So you can use this list as a recommendation for buying books yourself. So the Amazon sale is going to start, the Great Indian Amazon Festival, which is going to start on 23rd September for regular users and on 22nd September for Prime users. So I got these books from an offline bookstore, but maybe if you want to get discounted deals on these books, then you can check out the Amazon sale, whatever you'd like, and I'll provide the links for these books in the description box for you to check them out. So let's get into the video. First book is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. So this book has been doing rounds around the reading community for quite some time now, and I have been curious about this book for quite some time. It was this same curiosity that led me to listen to the audiobook of The Secret History by Donna Tartt, and I was not disappointed by that. So I really want to read what this book is about. The front or the back cover of this book really doesn't provide us with much information as to what this book focuses on. I tried to read about this book on the internet, but then I stopped myself. I want to discover this book as I read it because I was scared of coming across any spoiler. So anyway, I'm very excited to read A Little Life. I've heard that it is an unforgettable reading experience and I want that experience myself. The next book is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. So I've had my eyes on this book for quite some time now. So this book is about mental health and depression from what I know about it. So Nora is not happy with her life, she's miserable and she feels she has let everybody down including herself. So then she comes across the Midnight Library and the books in the Midnight Library help her live a different life. And she tries to undo all her mistakes and all her regrets. Ultimately, the point of the story is that it poses the question as to what is the perfect way of living life. The next book is The Dutch House by Anne Patchett. So this is a story about the bond between two siblings that gets formed after their mother leaves them. So these two siblings, brother and sister, live in this mansion called the Dutch House, and the story spans over 5 decades. So I have known about this book for quite some time. I've known about it since it came out in 2019, but I was not sure if I wanted to go for this book or not, even though it has glowing reviews. A lot of people say that it also has sprinklings of fairy tales, which is quite interesting. Overall, this is a dark read is what I have heard. When I saw this book in the bookstore, I just took a leap of faith and got it. I'm not sure how I like this book or not, but I know a little bit about the story. It interested me somewhat, so that's why let's see how I like it when I read it. Next book is All the Lovers in the Night by Miko Kawakami. So this is going to be my second title by her, the first one being Heaven, which was a very brilliant but a triggering and a disturbing read based on bullying that takes place in schools. So I got this book because the synopsis of this book fascinated me. I knew about another title by her, Breasts and Eggs, and I wanted to get that, but I got this instead. So this is about a woman in her 30s who's a proofreader and who is isolated from the world. She only interacts with this one person she works with, and she loves looking at lights. So one Christmas she has an encounter with a man, and that changes something inside her. So from what I've understood, this is a story about a woman who has to deal with her past traumas and who wants to be loved, but it is difficult for her to take the walls around herself down, and I really want to see how the story is going to turn out. The next book is Beloved by Toni Morrison. So this is a very famous and an acclaimed book, and this is one of Toni Morrison's most popular reads, I believe, and this is going to be my first title by her. So this story is set in the time when the Civil War had ended in the United States and slavery was coming to an end. So this is a story about a woman and a family who were former slaves, and the protagonist of the story is a woman named Seth or Sethi. I'm not sure how to pronounce this name. The spelling is S-E-T-H-E. So the synopsis talks about how her dead baby daughter, whose tombstone has the word beloved, returns in her life in order to punish her or haunt her. I'm not sure if I've interpreted it right. I guess I'll just have to read the story to find out. So I'm going to show the next 3 books together because they are all by Ruskin Bond and they are all a collection of short stories on different topics. So the first one is A Gallery of Rascals, and I've read this one already. So as you can tell by the title, it is a collection of stories about people who are up to no good, people who can be termed under the word rascals, because it says on the cover, my favorite tales of rogues, rapscallions and never-do-wells. So it's a light-hearted read and I personally loved it. And then the next one is The Shadow on the Wall. So this is another collection of stories about ghosts and paranormal experiences, and again this is a super light-hearted read and I enjoyed reading it. And then finally we have The Rhododendrons in the Mist. So this is Ruskin Bond's favorite tales of the Himalaya. I have yet to read this one, but I'm sure this will not disappoint as well. The next book is The Namesake by Jhumpa Lahiri. So it's interesting, I finally got my hands on this book. So I think The Namesake is one of Jhumpa Lahiri's most popular titles, but interestingly I'm going to read it so late. I read The Lowland by her first, and then I also listened to the audiobook of Interpreter of the Maladies. So The Namesake is a story about an Indian American guy named Gogol, who has been named after his father's favorite author. So he lives in suburban America. He wants to find his own path and discover his own true identity. Next book is The Education of Yuri by Jerry Pinto. So this is a story about a boy named Yuri Fonseca who is 15, and as you can tell by the title of the book, The Education of Yuri is a coming of age novel where Yuri discovers about his life, about friendships, about his sexual and political awakenings, and this book is set in the Bombay of 1980s. So I read my first title by Jerry Pinto earlier this year. It's called M and the Big Whom. It's a very interesting and a well written book. So I am looking forward to reading this book primarily because it is set in the 1980s. This is a time period which fascinates me a lot. People are always gushing about 90s and all, but for me it's the 80s that holds my attention and that has my heart. So the next two books are the volume 2 and volume 3 in the Heartstopper series by Alice Oseman. I got volume 1 online, which was a big mistake because there is a very clear-cut difference in the size, and I like the size of these two volumes better, but nothing can be done now. I've already read volume 1 and I love it, by the way. So Heartstopper is a series of 4 graphic novels, and I will get the 4th volume as well. Anyway, so this is a very cute story. It's a story about 2 high school boys named Charlie and Nick, and they're best friends. Everybody knows that Charlie is gay and Charlie is sure that Nick is not gay. So this is a story about their bond and what they feel towards each other. It's a very cute and a light-hearted story and a very nice graphic novel series. It had been quite some time since I read a light-hearted graphic novel, so I decided to go for this series. And I'll finally talk about the last 2 books together because it's a duology. So it's a very popular duology. Can you guess? Anyway, so the first one is 6 of Crows and the second one is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. So this duology has been on my TBR for a few years now. I think I've been meaning to read this for at least 4 years, and not just that, I've been recommended this duology by my viewers countless times. So I finally decided that I am going to get it, and while I was getting it I thought, why not go for these fancy looking editions, because as I said, I was doing book shopping after a long time, so well, I splurged and indulged myself and I got it, and let's see how I like it. I'm actually very excited to read this duology, and it's not just because of the pretty covers. Actually, I've been hearing so many good things about 6 of Crows duology that I am very excited to read this as a story. So that was my book haul, guys. You can check these books out from the Great Indian Amazon Sale. I'll provide the links for all these books in the description box. You can use those links if you want to support me. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it. If you want to connect with me on my social media, the links are in the description box. I will see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye, take care and stay safe.